I made LawVS's dream track as a mod for Assetto Corsa, and it went, interestingly. Literally just a few days ago, LawVS, a Formula 1 YouTuber and a passionate supporter of ladders, released a video describing his dream F1 track, where he personally challenged me to create it, and I quote,
"And zooming past. If you're watching, I would love to see what you could do with this, and what creative liberties that you might have in store. But please, if you are going to take on this challenge, there needs to be ladders."
So we're gonna take some damn liberties, everyone. And not just me. For this video, I decided to ask you in the community tab what you'd like to see on the track, just to spice it up a little bit, give the track a bit more character, you know? So while waiting for your totally rational and mild suggestions, I got right into track making. We're back in Photoshop, everybody, and while rewatching the video for the millionth time, I'm taking some notes. This is the outline LawVS provided us with. Some things we need to know are that this turn over here is turn 1 from Circuit of the Americas, this is the Monza chicane, this is the Suzuka hairpin, this is a random sequence of corners from Jeddah, and this over here is Laguna Seca's infamous corkscrew. I just now realized that I spoiled his entire video for you, but nonetheless, go and watch it. The Ladder Lord will be happy. With the notes in mind, we can hop straight into Blender. I load the reference image, and instead of just blindly modeling the road like I did in my previous track making videos, go watch those after this one, I go on Google Earth and take a screenshot of each corner, chicane, and hairpin that LawVS mentioned. After I have them all, I carefully place them, aligning them with the road to achieve the most realistic scale possible. Spoiler alert, it only worked a bit. With that, I finally get to road building, straight after straight, corner after corner, and soon enough, the track has been made. Now, Coda and Laguna Seca sections both being on this track only means that the elevation is gonna play a huge role in how the track feels. You've already given me enough shit about not adding enough elevation before, so here. Coda's turn 1 elevation is 133 feet or 40 meters, so boom, there you go. Then we got Corkscrew, which has a 17-meter drop from one apex to the other. And after the elevation has been added, it's time for our very first test drive. Turn 1 feels okay, and so does the Monza chicane. Suzuka hairpin is a bit and the Corkscrew is just 3 violent bumps, not even bumps, these are fucking hills, in the braking zone and aggressive car shake in the corner. Not great. I fixed up the elevation a bit more, and you might be seeing this as about 10 to 15 seconds of the video, but making the elevation on the Corkscrew took years of my life. I'm talking hours to get this one fucking bump polished. Oh, such is the way of video editing. I should stream it sometimes so you can understand my pain. Let me know if that's something you'd watch. On second try, everything went much smoother in the braking zone, but the corner still makes the car super shaky, especially when I drive in reverse. After dissecting the corner some more and smoothing the vertices over and over, I finally arrive at this. Smooth downhill, smooth uphill. Perfecto. Landscaping is still one of my worst skill sets, so I won't even bother you to see it over and over again. I add some elevation to the landscape and I make a backdrop terrain that worked so well in the last video. This video, however, isn't about the process of making a track. This video is about you guys and your contribution, so let's speed it up, shall we? I add the track limit lines on the side, and together with the newly built terrain, I test ride the track once more and look at it. If you ignore that the grass texture that I use for the hills makes them look more like a default Windows XP wallpaper, I think that it looks pretty nice, doesn't it? With more space for mistakes, I test out the corners properly, such as the Monza chicane that feels much easier to clear than it does an actual Monza, the Suzuka hairpin, which is incredibly satisfying when you nail it. The track only has one major flaw so far. When you dip your wheel on the grass, you go flying into the stratosphere. Back in Photoshop, I create a curb for the track, once again sampling the colors from the official LawVS channel to respect the man's branding and immediately test it out. Guys, test your curbs. Immediately. If you make a curb, test it. Don't copy and paste it, test it. I drive over the curb and it doesn't upset the car at all, which is exactly what we want. However, the curb itself is a bit too small. Average sized. I'm sure it has a great personality. So I warp through the grass and we can continue. My next steps consist of me repeatedly placing stuff all around the track, which I've shown in past videos already, so I won't annoy you with it too much. Although curb placing has a tradition of being sped up to 50,000% of the original speed and backed by no copyright Eurobeats. So... all I need is all that you can give. Faith in the smallest amount. Giving me your power where it... Before before we continue, I just want to announce that this track will be available for free on my Patreon and my new Discord server. Links in the description, but we are definitely hosting a race on the circuit, so join in, stay tuned, more info on that later in this video. Also, subscribe. With the curves done, I moved to the track lines. Since I had just introduced varying track width, I need to adjust the track limit lines to make sense, and to avoid Hamilton driving over them and asking if the others got a penalty for it. The next logical step is barriers, for which I make custom sponsor stickers as per usual, one for my channel, which for some reason I make from scratch every time, LawVS's YouTube banner, and I play a bit more with the track name this time, making sure that Ladderhorn's typographical logo looks as badass as it sounds. Ah, just look at it. Advertising. I'll place some barriers containing the logos while burning off my dopamine receptors by watching Drive to Survive in a small PIP box. I really am Generation Z, aren't I? This time, instead of just placing these guardrail type barriers, I also get these super simple looking tire barriers to get a more realistic Formula 1 track feel rather than believing that the FIA would just allow literal concrete in the crash zones. While I do that, I get distracted and read the first comment from the community post. And, in the post I wrote, "Give me all your funny, memeable, crazy, stupid ideas for the surroundings of the track. Within reason, of course, I ain't adding a flossing T-Rex in a diaper anywhere." I wrote that to convey the scale of stupidity I'm not willing to add to the track, but I guess that doesn't matter here, does it? So, just as a tease, I add the T-Rex looking over the barrier on the last corner. May he look over our souls and bless our pace with divine ordainment. I don't really know what half the words I just used mean. I go back to placing the board and stuff so I can get it out of the way, like fences, my good old friend Green's fault, which is basically a recreation of this green carpet area on real F1 tracks. Those who watched my first track video know. And I think that we're done with the boring stuff. Let's bring on the memes. There were quite a few of you requesting some meme banners and billboards, so let's look at those first.
Advertisement board interrupting you with Lance Stroll in Monaco 21.
Haha, you got it, Strider.
The start-finish line is just 2018 Lance Stroll.
Alright, I like this one. I really like this one. Turns out getting a hold of a full body picture of Lance Stroll from 2018 is near impossible, so I just settled for a leg amputation.
Big advertising board with the Piastri meme after the jetpack guy crashed.
Apparently LawVS himself is a big Piastri fan, so this kinda makes sense.
Fernando Alonso mewing on some random banners.
Fernando Sigmalonso mewing and grejing on some random banners.
I have no idea what you're all talking about. I might be older than I think. Apparently mewing is supposed to define your jawline better, but you can't know if someone's mewing or not, so I just get Alonso's mugshot and write it over there.
Add a Nutella advert with Nicolas Latifi on it.
Oh, for this one I have a great idea.
Nutella's Latifi.
أكيد دم كيمي رايكونن so incredibly small that he is not visible to the naked eye.
I make this super small Kimi Raikkonen with a secret password, and whoever finds it when driving the track, write it here in the comments. The first one to do so will get pinned.
Charles Leclerc's crash in Azerbaijan 2019 is the advertisement board for drink driving.
Hell yes, we gotta do our duty to road safety, ladies and gentlemen.
Fernando Alonso with a knife advertisement. And it just says 33.
Insert sponsor here Racing Bulls, insert sponsor here this is a cool spot garage or whatever Tedzok name was.
I honestly have no idea what this meme is. It seems like I totally missed it, so yeah, this is the best I can do, Brian.
Stroll.
Add Giga Kubica.
As I shall, Quarkle, as I shall. With all the banners down in Photoshop, it's time to put them on the track along with your other suggestions. I actually used some of your banner ideas to put on the ground because look at them and tell me it's not perfect. Alongside Alonso's knife advert, I also put a British flag on this chicane over here because of British bias, and I put down some more boring self-promotion sellout adverts. Time for a progress update test drive. Apart from warping asphalt, this track offers great views such as Fernando's threatening face. The T-Rex recommendation from National Italia said that we need to put him on some ladders, and I would do anything to please the ladder lord. We have a goddamn T-Rex and two-step ladders, everyone. If this isn't peak racetrack design, I don't know what is. And if you thought going more ridiculous that this isn't happening, then let me introduce you to WRBEC, who suggested I add Godzilla fighting King Kong. I was skeptical, to be honest, but after adding them, it actually doesn't look that bad. Fine, take my like and leave. Henry suggested I add massive sausage curbs on every turn, so I ripped the model from the original Monza chicane in Assetto Corsa and scale it only to make it taller, not wider. This bad boy could do some real damage to those too confident on the brakes. And as per Henry's request, I add them to every turn. Every single one.
All tunnel but mark it out of ladders, of course.
Much obliged. Good idea, we need more ladders.
We need GN life-size chessboard you at Tron 7 for no reason.
Do you realize that life-sized cheeseburger is just a normal cheeseburger? Because that's life-sized? Or is it? Am I wrong? Alright man, my bad. I do make a small modification to your request though, and instead add it on turn 5, because look at this. This spot is basically asking for the burger.
And it strengthens Japanese-American international relations.
I implore you to add a giant lemon. Make it artistic. Make it art deco. Make it anything you want. I simply request a lemon.
You mean...
John Lemon.
At this point, the track is coming together and it's looking all nice and custom. And then, suddenly I remember... I forgot to add the damn pit lane! I was really about to leave you with that one, and I just something I can't do. I just add this massively dangerous pit entry, the pit building, and all the other stuff you've seen previously.
Make a fake marina lake in Miami, but instead of water, it's just a pool of ladders.
Yes, yes, yes! And in a proper marina, you need some ships. Some sail ships, some tug ships, some small ore ships, and a spaceship. I then add the already made 2018 Landstro Starline, which is really weird, but hey, whatever floats your spaceship. Some more banner distribution along with some ground banners distribution later lands me at some more of your creative tasks.
A longhorn ball on the track somewhere.
What the actual fuck?
Add a snake because snakes aren't ladders.
This may be the most genius suggestion out of all the comments by a country mile. Good play to you, Belodi. Good play. Though your competition wasn't exactly fierce. I also hide the Kimi Raikkonen somewhere on the map. You can drive close to it and read it, though it will be a lot easier with FreeCam. Again, whoever writes whatever the code messages in the comments get pinned.
A massive Honsamihar.
Put rocket-powered Mohawk's car in the background.
That's actually a pretty good suggestion since my first, and maybe my last, track making video will be based on his suggestions. I don't have time to put into actually modeling the detailed car, so this PS1 as background prop will have to do.
Tom Brady on his party yacht he takes to Monaco.
I'm so European, I had no clue who Tom Brady was before doing this, honestly. But yep, there he is on his yacht. Two of you guys wanted me to add some spectators on the track. One wanted Nico Rosberg and the other, bananas. So I add both, randomly scattering them on the grandstands, and there you go. Those bananas do be looking quite ominous though. And I absolutely have to thank my patrons on Patreon. These four are the maximum spending mad lads, for which I'm super grateful for. And of course, I can't forget all my supporters. Thanks a million, guys. You have no idea how much you really mean to me. Speaking of my Patreon, feel free to join in even as a free member. You'll find this track there for free this time. Yes, this track will be absolutely free and available to the public as I have started a Discord server. If you're a racing fan, sim racing fan, track building fan, or just a fan of motorsport overall, come join us. Sometimes we race together, sometimes I stream as I make my tracks for the newest videos, and if you'd like to catch me, don't hesitate to join and shoot us a message. This track will also be uploaded there in the mods download section, so you can practice when we host a race. Yes, that is also a plan, hosting a community race to baptize Ladderhorn. And LawVS, if you're still watching and you can drive an Assetto Corsa, you know you're more than welcome to join in and try your circuit out yourself. Now let's just get back to the video. It's been so long since I started the track. I literally started on Valentine's Day, and the day I'm recording this, it's March 12th. Almost a month. And the man literally had a kid before I finished the track.
All that open space could use a Walmart.
Yeehaw to the Freedom Nation. America #1. What would a Walmart be without a big parking lot? So I add one too and populate it with lumps of steel. Last thing I need to add to make this look easier on the eyes are trees. And once again, after spending a decade placing them, boom. Now just take a look at this. That looks amazing. I always want to improve the next track compared to the previous one. And while this one is already miles ahead, I want to try adding bumps to the road. My previous tracks always had smooth roads, a bit too smooth. So I had decided to implement a bit of bumpiness.
Man, what the Look at that driving Mercedes 2022.
Another thing I never added to the track is DRS zone. So on my previous tracks, you can just open it at any point, anywhere. This time I added a DRS zone here in the Godzilla vs. King Kong section and here just before the main straight. I also noticed that it's very easy to just overbrake and fly off corkscrew right into this area here. So I made something called the Road of Shame, where Ricardo and Alonso laugh at you for your skill issues, and then you have to take this narrow ass road back onto the racetrack, missing the pit entry and having to do an extra lap with damage. I also tried simulating an AI race on the track to see how they would cope, but I knew that it was gonna be difficult.
Yeah, and that's just a shitstorm. Bro, AI in Assetto Corsa is just...
Yep, one more struggle to solve, but by the time you're watching it, it's either solved, or I snapped, murdered my entire family as well as Duolingo, and I'll just release the track with no AI support. At least that's some motivation for you to find some friends to race with. On our Discord server, perhaps? Okay, enough with the f***ing plugs. But without further ado, here's the pole position taking lap from none other than Oscar Piastri. Well, and the race video, unlike the Gallagher Drone one, which I'm still putting away because of this one, should be released soon. So stay tuned, subscribe, and hit the bell, and I'll see you at some point, I think, maybe, hopefully, perhaps. Bye.